In a recent article, Emily, you said every locally produced gallon of fuel or kilowatt hour generated results in increased business model resilience and shareholder value, as well as national autonomy. But we want to talk a little bit about this idea of diversified energy sources as being a source of sovereignty and national self determination. Is that a storyline that you think is going to take hold in the next few months and years?
Years, maybe. I mean, I think
Yeah.
months, that's very difficult. And a lot of that has to do with, if you take Asia, that's a great example of markets where, China historically has been kind of this swing provider of fuels in the region. And that sort of created some kind of dependence on China, even if there's diversified sources of export. Um, you know, LNG lacks the same fungibility as oil. So as soon as you increase your dependence on gas imports instead of oil imports, already you've kind of reduced some of your own flexibility and sort of diversification options. So I think there's a very careful balance there, and it has to do both with geopolitical alliances and what sort of economically and from a business perspective makes the most sense. And unfortunately, in the environment we're living in, where we're seeing kind of an increasingly fragmented world, kind of multipolar interests or spheres of influence, the sort of national interest and sort of the geopolitical interest is often overweighing or sort of driving the main decisions about energy diversification rather than sort of what makes best business sense and economically what's the most logical. So ideally, you do see these things emerge in terms of these kind of more localized supply chains and sort of groupings of like-minded or kind of geographically aligned countries, and it's just not happening that way right now because of these kind of distinct geopolitical trends that have emerged.